Hey guys, Malcolm Moore here. Can you guess where I am? In this video, I'm going to show you all 8, that's right, all 8 180s that you can do on a snowboard across a piste. Backside, front side, cab, off the toes, off the heels. I'll explain everything, and by the end of this video, you will know them all. I've ranked them from easiest to hardest, which in itself is subjective, so let me know if you agree or disagree with how I've placed these 180s. We're gonna start off at number 1 with the switch frontside 180 off the heels. Front side just means that you're gonna open up your front side in the same direction you're traveling as you start this rotation. And a heel side turn already has you going in that direction, so it just makes things really easy to do a front side 180 off the heels. But why switch? Well, for me, I just find it super easy to whip the board around and then to land back in my regular stance and carry on across the slope. It can, however, be quite difficult to generate enough pop if you just jump off your heels. So make sure you load up the tail for an ollie to really help with pulling the board around. And this is a great fun trick to do off the sides of pistes into a nice soft powdery landing. Because let's be honest, who wants to be landing switch in the powder? But you might be thinking, is switch frontside 180 just another name for a half cab? No, this is a half cab. Why? Well, skateboarding. Next up, we've got a backside 180 off the toes. Backside literally means that your backside is going to turn and face in the direction you're traveling as you start this spin. And because in a toe side turn you're already going that way, it just sets you up really well for spinning backside. It's also much easier to create pop off your toe side than it is off the heels. So getting weight over the tail of the board to create an ollie isn't as necessary here, because you can quite simply just jump up off the balls of your feet. Now you'll notice my 2 easiest spins both rotate in the same direction. Now I know one was front side and one was backside, but if you looked at me from above, you'll see that in both of them, I'm spinning in a clockwise direction. And just how we have a preference to riding regular or goofy, we also have a preference to spinning clockwise or anti-clockwise. Number 3 is the frontside 180 off the heels. Once again, the heel side edge is going to set us up for spinning in a front side direction. Sink down to generate a bit of pop and snap off the tail, and as you extend up, open the shoulders ahead of the board to create enough rotation to pull the board round in a 180. Land in your switch stance. I find this more difficult than the switch frontside 180 because I'm spinning in my unnatural direction. Number 4 is the switch backside 180 off the toes. Spinning in my unnatural direction as well as coming in switch, I don't love this 180. That said, it's still not as difficult as some of the ones we're going to come on to. But one of the things I need to think about when I do this rotation is to make sure I don't over-rotate my shoulders to generate the spin, because then if I do that, when I land, the board often just wants to skid out onto the heels, which never looks good. Number 5 is the switch frontside 180 off the toes. I love this one. At first, spinning front side off the toes can feel a bit weird, as the board wants to go one way and you're trying to rotate it the other way. But you can generate so much more pop off your toes than you can off your heels, that it's a super fun one to just jump this one up and pull it around. Sink down, I do a 2-footed jump here, and as I extend up, open up those shoulders to create the rotation necessary to pull this round in a 180, land back in your regular stance, ride off smooth. Number 6 is the regular frontside 180, again off the toes. Once again, I've placed the regular version of this 180 after the switch version. Because I'm going in that unnatural anti-clockwise direction, I find this one more difficult, but the technique remains exactly the same as the one we just went through. And once you've got both of these frontside 180s off the toes, then you can do one of my favorite ever exercises, toe-to-toe carving. This, is super fun. Number 7 is the backside 180 off the heels. This is where things start to get awkward. The board wants to spin frontside because you're on your heels, but you're going to try and pop it round in a backside spin. And trying to generate that pop off both of your heels, well, it's pretty difficult. Give it a go, but yeah, this is an awkward one. But it's not as awkward as this. Number 8, the switch backside 180 off the heels. This is the worst 180, and if you don't agree with me, well, there's something wrong with you. You've got that awkward heel side takeoff where you're trying to generate pop off your heels. The board wants to go one way, but you're going to turn against that in this, which is my unnatural direction, and also I'm blind throughout the spin, and it just lends itself really well to catching that heel side edge and going over backwards if you only slightly under rotate this one. So yeah, I ain't a fan. So there you have all the 8 different 180s that you can perform across the piste. Have you got them all? Do you agree with how I ranked them? Let me know down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.